guys, it's your girl T. So I want to come on and talk about this whole damn gorilla situation, honey. You know, anytime I logged on to social media or went to check my email, all I saw was gorilla. You gotta talk about the gorilla. A little boy fell into the gorilla. They done killed the gorilla. T, what are your thoughts about the gorilla? I was like, damn it, okay, shit, damn. Folks were going crazy over this gorilla named Harambe. So what went down is that this took place at the Cincinnati Zoo. There was a mother, she was out there with a bunch of kids, and supposedly her 4-year-old got out of her sight, and he ended up going into the enclosure where the gorilla was, okay? And so long story short is that you hear the mother, you know, she's like, that's my son, and, you know, the whole situation was crazy. And initially, the narrative that was being sent to me was that this gorilla was, you know, trying to protect the child and holding the child. But then when I saw the full video, I saw that, yeah, initially he was protecting and holding the child, but then he drugged the child like a rag doll into the water, and eventually that's what caused him to get shot. So the whole situation is really disturbing. I want you guys to watch the video, but now I also want to talk about what Fox News is doing, okay? Now, on top of everybody going in on the mother, because she was a black mother, on top of the world going in on her, saying that she should have been shot and not the gorilla, Fox News decided to also bring up the fact that the kid's father has a criminal record. Now, this is the same man that was not there. It was the mother there with the children, but somehow the father's criminal record is coming into play. I don't understand this at all. I want you guys to go ahead and watch both of these videos. I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
A lot of people weighing in on this. The Cincinnati Zoo had to make that difficult choice of putting down this more than 400-pound gorilla, a very controversial decision that is causing an uproar. The big questions, did the zoo's team of experts make the right call? And where was the family? 2 eyewitnesses who saw the incident and the family sat down with 9 on your side's Roseanne Aragon. Roseanne, we're so anxious to hear what they said.
Julie, these witnesses tell me they were standing right next to the family as this was going on. The couple tells me they were heartbroken because they felt that the gorilla didn't mean any harm, but say you just had to be there.
It was basically either the child or the gorilla, and they chose, you know, a lot of people say poorly. They didn't see it, you know. I saw it.
A closer look at a terrifying moment caught on video. A boy falling into gorilla world at the Cincinnati Zoo. His 400-pound gorilla holding on to him. Bruce Davis and his partner Tangi Holyfield were there.
Because there was nobody getting that baby back, away from that gorilla. No one was taking him.
This was the photo they took. They said just moments before the Cincinnati Zoo's dangerous animal response team shot the critically endangered animal.
You could look in their eyes and tell they had a tough decision to make.
The zoo issued this statement. The Cincinnati Zoo family is in mourning today and trying to process the death of 17-year-old gorilla Harambe. The gorilla was killed yesterday in order to save the life of a child.
Mommy's right here!
Tangi Holyfield stood right next to the family.
I don't even know where she was when it happened. I seen her after it happened, but she was just going, that's my baby, that's my baby.
The family issued this statement. We're so thankful to the Lord that our child is safe. He is home and doing just fine. We extend our heartfelt thanks. We know this was a very difficult decision for them, and they are grieving the loss of their gorilla. Holyfield says she hugged a member of the family's group.
I just comforted him and told him everything is going to be all right.
She says they were all torn.
He was just flipping out, just scared. The scream from that gorilla that I've never heard. I don't think that he was hurting him. He was just protecting him.
What we saw, he could have been killed at any second. I mean, he bashed his head off a rock. He threw him 10 feet in the air, and I saw him land on his back, and it was a mess.
I spoke with the boy's grandfather, and the grandfather says the boy's doing fine. The family's just asking for some privacy. Now, these witnesses say the zoo did a great job and made the right decision. We're live tonight at the Cincinnati Zoo. I'm Roseanne Aragon, 9 on your side.
For the gorilla Harambe, who was shot and killed at the Cincinnati Zoo over the weekend. This video shows why the zoo's dangerous animal response team made that decision. A 4-year-old boy got into the enclosure. Harambe had the child in the corner before he grabbed a hold of the boy's leg and then dragged him through the water. The boy is now recovering at home with a concussion, but no broken bones. That's according to his mom. Now, this morning, the zoo that cares for Harambe's family is weighing in on what happened.
One of the biggest stories from this weekend was the situation at the Cincinnati Zoo. And animal activists are outraged that they killed this gorilla who was holding a 4-year-old boy. How do you feel about it?
I think it's a very tough call. It was amazing because there were moments with the gorilla, the way he held that child. It was almost like a mother holding a baby. Looked so beautiful and calm. And there were moments where it looked pretty dangerous. I don't think they had a choice. I mean, probably they didn't have a choice. You have a child, a young child is at stake, and you know, it's too bad there wasn't another way. I thought it was so beautiful to watch that, you know, powerful, almost 500-pound gorilla, the way he dealt with that little boy. But it just takes 1 second. It's 1 second. It's not like it takes place over, well, he's going to do it in 30 seconds from now. It just takes one little flick of his finger. And I will tell you, they probably had no choice.
In the aftermath, the parents of the child have faced a firestorm of criticism. The mother responding on Facebook, thanking the zoo staff and saying, quote, accidents happen. But she then quickly removed the post. And according to the Daily Mail, the father has a long rap sheet including drugs and kidnapping charges. In 2006, he was sentenced to a year behind bars. And protesters and animal lovers have been standing outside of the zoo calling for the parents to be prosecuted. A Cincinnati police spokesman says no charges are being considered at this moment.
All right, so you guys just saw what Donald Trump had to say. You guys just saw the news reports. So when I first heard this story, I was really saddened, to hear that this gorilla lost his life, because it was not the gorilla's fault. The little boy should have definitely been watched closer. There's no reason for the little boy to have made it inside that enclosure. And they're saying that the mother might have been on, Facebook or Instagram taking pictures, because it takes a while to get down into that enclosure. So for the little boy to be missing for that long and for the mother to not notice, that's very neglectful of the mother. Yes, that was a stupid decision that she made to keep her eyes out for her son. Especially at the age of 4, 4-year-olds are very rambunctious. They're very curious. At the end of the day, a gorilla's life to me does not trump a human life. This is a 4-year-old child. It's not like he's, 17, 18, 19, 20. This was a little kid. And if this was anybody else's son, you would want the zoo to do something as well. I see a lot of folks really upset saying, why did they, choose lethal force? Why didn't they go get a tranquilizer gun? And I thought the same thing too. Like, how come they didn't just tranquilize him? Why didn't they just tranquilize him? And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, whatever. But I felt the same way too. Like, they should just got a tranquilizer gun and just tranquilize them. But from what I'm reading and researching is that you can't, one, they don't keep the tranquilizers like around them, just for the fact that, it's very serious. Like, if it gets into the wrong hands, it could possibly kill somebody. So they put the tranquilizer guns in a special location. And if they would have went to go get that, anything could have happened, because this gorilla's like 500 pounds. So he could have easily just turned and killed that boy within a split second. And they said that all, people who like take care of animals and stuff, they keep a gun on them just in case of emergencies like this, because there's no other choice. And when it's something like that, they have no choice but to shoot. Did they want to kill the gorilla? No, of course not. You know what I'm saying? But the gorilla ended up dying. So a lot of folks are very upset about this. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry, a gorilla's life is not going to trump a 4-year-old child's life. To me, is the mother negligent? Yes, she is. But at the end of the day, accidents do happen. And I feel bad because these gorillas are damn near extinct. And I feel bad because, yes, these gorillas are going extinct. They're majestic animals. But in the same breath, if you're such an animal lover, then you would not be supporting animal prisons, because that's all a zoo is. It's just a big ass prison industrial complex for animals, for us to go and stare at animals. Animals belong in their natural habitat, but I understand why they have them in zoos, because you have a lot of poachers and ignorant people out here who are out here killing these animals, for their paws and for their furs and things like that. And it's really sad that so many animals are on the endangered species list. At the end of the day, I cannot co-sign and act like they should have just let the gorilla just, walk around with the little boy, knowing that eventually his animal instincts would kick in and he would have killed that little boy. Let's keep it real. At the end of the day, these are animals. And I don't like the fact that the picture that's being floated around, that's being circulated, is that the gorilla was being so sweet to the little boy. Yes, initially he was, but then when you watch the longer video, when you see the part 2, the gorilla drugged the little boy through the water and could have easily killed the little boy. But one thing that really bothers me with this story is the fact that they're also bringing up the father's criminal record, like I said earlier. That has nothing to do with anything, okay? If you guys remember back in 2013, this happened at the Pittsburgh Zoo. There was a mother who decided to pick up her son. She claimed her son had, seeing issues and he wanted to see these wild dogs. So she decided to pick up her son, put him up on a slanted, railing, and she accidentally dropped her son and he was mauled to death by wild dogs. Yes. This 2-year-old was killed. And the crazy part is I didn't see Fox News pulling up her criminal record. I didn't see Fox News pulling up her husband's criminal record. I didn't see anybody really dragging this mother like they're dragging this black woman with this whole gorilla situation. You know what I mean? It's like, I didn't see her getting as much backlash as this woman is. You have the world pissed off at this black woman for basically, not keeping an eye on her child and this gorilla being killed. And like I said, I blame the mother 100% because she was very negligent. But my thing is, when I look back on the case from 2013, where was all this outrage? And this woman's child died. And on top of that, this stupid, neglectful bitch had the nerve to sue the zoo. I'm like, are you serious? And they had to reach a settlement. This bitch walked away with money. So not only did she, basically lose her child over something stupid, she also got compensated. If anything, she should have to pay the zoo damages for ruining their reputation and accusing them of being negligent when she chose to put her son on a fucking ledge. This is insane. So this woman gets to sue the zoo, walk away with a bunch of money for being a neglectful parent. Nobody's dragging this woman, but this woman's son ends up being saved and everybody's mad at her. But there was no backlash for the white woman who basically watched her son get eaten by a bunch of wild dogs. Where they do this at? My thing is, we're gonna be upset if we're gonna have all this outrage. There should have been outrage for both parties. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I didn't see Fox News going in and digging into this woman's background, digging into her husband's background and everything else. This little boy's father's background has absolutely nothing to do with this situation. One, he was not at the zoo. Two, what does his criminal record have to do with anything? To me, that's just them throwing more salt on this family. You know, like I said, well, I think it's very unfortunate they had to shoot this gorilla. At the end of the day, the zoo did what they had to do. And you know what I'm saying? They were following protocol. You know, of course, they're really saddened by this. But for people to say that, you know, the little boy should have been left down there, he should have been eaten, you know, just a lot of these racist, nasty comments towards a little kid who made a mistake, I just think it's just really, really uncalled for. So anyways, you guys, let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire crazy situation. Once again, concerning Harambe the gorilla, do you feel like, you know, they were justified in killing him because a little boy fell into the exhibit? How do you feel about how much backlash this mother and this family is getting over this entire situation when you had the situation back in 2013 and that mother didn't get as much backlash and her child actually died? You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. All right, deuces. Hey, you guys, it's your girl T. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share my videos. You can also visit Lovelyti.com to purchase any merchandise. Also, don't forget to click the boxes down below to watch any of my previous videos. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.